All right, let's do this. Some strange stuff, but before we get into it, I know what you're thinking. Why the hell is he talking about the same thing over and over again? You know, like, who really freaking gives a flying fuck? Not even him. That he's almost at 10K followers on Twitter. And if it does bother you, I'm really sorry. I think goals are important, and even goals that you have no control over. It really does depend on what everybody else does. I have no control. I can't make anybody follow me, and I can only hint it, and just like they can't make me follow them. I'm hoping that it's a nice mutual understanding between us, and a nice little mutual understanding between us, and we follow each other, and we each get what we want from that. There, 75 million active freaking users is what I heard. So and a large majority of them, I mean, even I'm not a beyond reproach on the fact that I have not participated, and I have definitely joined in to the joined in on the bandwagon in calling Twitter toxic and freaking a cesspool and all that other stuff. I've actually watched people that I like and have been in communication with, and been with for a while now. So this we've been with for a while now, and what do you call it? Just join in on that, that craziness. I had to unfollow a bunch of people, and I blocked a bunch of people who I was having wonderful conversations with, and joking around with, and everything like that. It's bad. putting up with anything. Only because I don't have to. Only because I am not trying to become anything greater on Twitter. I'm actually still kind of shocked. I said shocked. I'm still kind of shocked that I'm in absolute shock that Twitter is still going. Yeah, this time last year, I would have told you that if I was this close, I would have been like going, this is literally going to be down to the wire. If I was as close as I am to 10K as I was last year, because when I was 2,000, I was like going, yeah, this ain't gonna happen. I was literally like, this ain't happening. We will be right back. All right. Where were we? Yeah, so the fact that it's actually happening is like almost a shock, probably more to me than anybody else. The fact that it's Twitter still freaking is a viable operation, just like I would have lost that bet. And not even like a little bit. Like I would have absolutely lost that bet. When I was learning, and that's about all I want to talk about Twitter. Let's get back into art. When I was learning digital art, the actual thing, one of the things that came up was rigging. So 2D Live has a 60-day, I believe it's 60 days, trial. I will not tell people to unload and reload and stuff like that, so that you can continue to have the free trial. If you are going to use the program, obviously you should, and if you're going to use the program, you should obviously pay for it. I mean, that's. That's part of it. Okay, that's part of what was happening. I didn't rig past the trial. I didn't even rig past 30 days. So even if it's a 30-day trial, yeah, I didn't rig it. I already had plans to, and I was going to, but fate kind of like took the wind out of my sails. Their tutorials are freaking shit. And I don't know whether I'm just a fucking moron or because I wasn't really into digital drawing, so I didn't really know how to digitally draw. But their first thing to do is blinking eyes. As simple as that is, they made it like an absolute freaking like almost impossible thing to do. I was guessing most of it. I was already starting to set up the interior, kind of like the skeleton, especially for things that I wanted to move. I didn't know limits, so kind of like it would have been kind of like this goofy ass what do you call it? Yeah, it would have been kind of like this goofy, like almost like pudding character, which would have been awful. But I definitely wanted, because I had a duck bill, I definitely wanted the duck bill to like have a little more emotion to it than just open and close. It took a long time to realize that open and close is perfect. Open and close is like probably the best thing. It's what most people register, and if you can get it lip synced to how a mouth opens and closes, it doesn't make much difference. I've been fooling around with having mouth movements actually match up with the way people talk, and the thing is that I'm trying to do it the way I talk, and I don't talk normal. I don't don't say the same letters. I mean, you just heard me before say, you know, almost like I have an accent, and you know, saying words like I almost have an accent. That's freaking ridiculous. Like it with an accent, your mouth moves differently. The only difference, the only similarity is that it opens and closes at the same time. That's it. But the mouth, you know, where the mouth placement is, where the tongue is, where the teeth are, all those things that make up the words. And then, of course, you have your vocal cords that give you the actual sound. But which I didn't even get into doing throat work or anything like that. It was like I was so overwhelmed, and at the same time of being so overwhelmed, I was working full time, and I was streaming every day because I had to stream 6 days. Or I had to stream 7 days. It was a 7-day stream. Yeah. So you have a 7-day stream. I said 6 days because I only streamed 6 of the 7 days. So I was suspended. On the 7th day, I was suspended. So I was doing that. Plus, I was still trying to do music videos. Plus, I was still trying to, you know, like I was really like, I was so involved in streaming. At the time. That I didn't have time for anything, not even sleep. I was just going. I was figuring that it would all calm down. It would all calm down eventually. That's what I figured. I figured it would definitely calm down eventually. So I rigged it all up. I was doing all this other stuff. I was hoping to have at least a talking head by my first year anniversary. I was going to be so I went from I hate the flesh tuber. I went from being a regular streamer, a base streamer, to I was just building into becoming a VTuber. And the idea was I was going to do it all myself. Whatever I created was going to be it. I wasn't going to use anybody else's templates or like Vroid or anything like that. And the problem with Vroid is that I could not have a duck bill. The stand-in, which is the little yellow gremlin that I've been using as my stand-in. Only because there was a doodle that I did. I was like, what should about that doodle. I was doodling about that doodling. But basically, in the end, you know, it was a lot of work. It was right before Christmas. So it was the day before I got suspended. I know I talked about where I was going with this and how crazy this is, and this could be very life changing. I was having trouble processing everything that was going on. I really did. It was way too much. And I just saw somebody post about like going, if you work full time and you're trying to stream and stuff like that, don't compare yourself to full-time streamers. And I was like going, do people really do that? Because if you compared yourself to a full-time streamer, you have to realize that there's most likely, especially with the successful streamers, a team in place. Whether that team is whether that team is people hired by that person, or whether that that team is basically just like a group of friends with one of them being the face of it all. And then on top of that, it is most of these people unless they're putting out a video, they'll live stream for 8 hours. And it seems like that's all they do. And then after they get off of that, then all they do is they work on what they're going to be doing next. And usually they do that with their team. Companies like Shoujo basically handle multiple people. What they want to do is they want to handle people that are making a lot of money and doing it that way. Because the more money that a person makes, the more money Shoujo will make. So they definitely want to have the people that are up there. But hopefully, unlike what I've heard rumor-wise, but hopefully that company provides legal support, provides content moderation, and assistance with people, especially ones that are like either, because one of the things about getting noticed and being this is that if you're controversial, you'll actually get more, you'll drive more revenue. And so almost every, especially ones VTubers that are with companies, almost every one of them is like this. Now, I do know that some people, when they're part of a team, they branch out and they go on their own and they try to pull together another team. This is different than a community. This is different than moderators. This is different than all that stuff. When I'm talking about a team, is like I'm talking about a team that helps you build it. I was going to be a member of a team. That's what this account was built for. A lot of the people on the team were already streamers. how I wanted, yeah, how they didn't tell me how they wanted to me to be a streamer. They wanted me to also be a streamer as well because it puts us all on equal footing, even if we're not all equal as streamers. I had little to no interest. Actually doing streaming. I had attempted to be a streamer earlier. Actually, more than 3 years, probably 4 years prior. I tried my hand at streaming, and with really kind of like very bad results. It's why I don't really think much of being a streamer for myself. And this is kind of funny because before we actually were coming up with the plan, man, there was a lot of interest in this. Man, we had a lot of people, even more people than we could possibly imagine, wanting to be a part of this project. The page was set up, everything was set up, and again, we were all going to be supported as a team. We had more people, even up beyond who we were, doing this, and I was support. I was support. I was gonna be a face. This account wouldn't exist if it wasn't for that. And I wouldn't be streaming if it wasn't because of the pandemic. So I had almost zero interest in becoming a streamer still. On top of it, I had zero interest in becoming a streamer. Yeah, I have goose egg interest. in being a streamer. Even then, even like right before my birthday. Um, I did the three worst birthday ever videos. Um, well, I started it with "I'm doing this wrong." That had nothing to do with um, like I had no idea what I was doing. Um, even even if I did what I was, even if I followed the original plan, which was to try to do 50 rides in one night on my 50th birthday, uh, on the 50th anniversary. Even if I was able to pull that off, even let's say I did the 50 rides, I was able to pull that off and I filmed it all. I was going to upload those videos, and the plan was just to let them sit. Um, yeah, that's all they were going to do. So even if like everything went right, the best I could have hoped for is maybe one or two views, and that's it. And up and over and done with. Me patting myself on the back, sending it off to friends that were there, friends and family that were there, and that would probably give me all the views that it would have ever gotten, and then it never would have branched out from there. Um, when I did those worst videos ever, um, I was actually um, realizing, like, going, yeah, you guys aren't getting much. I mean, you have an hour of me sleeping. An hour of me sleeping. You have a 5 minute video, I think a 3 minute video of me opening up some freaking presents, and I think it's a 30-minute video of me eating the entire caramel ice cream cake. And that's it. And I was like, um, I have to do House of Pain by Faster Pussycat. Uh, and I had to do House of Pain by Faster Pussycat. So I did my first karaoke. That if you watch that video, the very first one, actually the first few were just absolutely horrible. I really did not, um, you know, figure out what I was actually doing, and I was like, you know what, I could do this. I could actually do this, and the person that inspired me 3 years ago to do this was Iron Mouse. Um, but I was like, I could just do karaoke. I will just, you know, market myself as a mediocre or bad singer. You get what you get. One shot, one done, and get it out there. Um, Doing karaoke, and uh, I just um, trying to think of what I I think I think it was the first one. Um, I think If I Was at Work was the first parody video. Or it could have been the Hamilton thing. I've been writing parodies of songs forever. Um, Talk Nerdy to Me. That was Poison song, not the other song. Um, Talk Nerdy to Me. I wrote that song like freaking forever ago. I had to like remember the lyrics. But yeah, I've been writing parodies for a long time. But as far as the first parody that I did, it might have been the Nux. He did I'll Be Back. I'll Be Back. For the You'll Be Back by King George and Hamilton. And King George has 3 songs for the You'll Be Back. And I hate to say, I hate to say it. Watching the Nux video, I was like, that's kind of substandard. The lyrics were kind of eh. He instead of singing "I'll be back," he sang "You'll be back." And yeah, I wasn't that impressed by his lyrics or even the production of the song. So I decided on my own to create a fake rivalry between him and I. This is on the heels of him saying that a person in an irons, like a clothing iron, to get out wrinkles suit, calling them Iron Man, was the corniest thing that he's ever seen on the internet. Which is, I thought, kind of funny and kind of like my in. It wasn't. But I did at the time. And so I created this fake rivalry between him and I. And I did the second song. Yeah. And then I did a whole series of songs. And I found out that I was not really considered a mutual when he did the fake apology thing, which I thought was brilliant. I thought I did a brilliant job, like creating the video for his freaking fake apology, but he wasn't looking for his his viewers to do this. He was looking for people that he considered his peers, which I definitely was not, even though I brandished myself as one. And even for a short period of time, actually thought I was. Which is absolutely ridiculous in and of itself also. So yeah, it's it really is kind of ridiculous if you really want to know the truth. And um um yeah, I it really I think when the truth, when the truth came out, um and because it I I think it's kind of even funny sad, that um I actually thought I actually even fought. Like I fought with people about a parasocial relationship. And yeah, if you have to define your relationship and the person that you think you're in the relationship doesn't even acknowledge it or says that you're in a parasocial relationship, you're in a parasocial relationship. Uh, it it did take me a while to realize, like, going, yeah, um, even though I interact with them, even though they know I exist, it's still a parasocial relationship. I mean, it's what happened. Um, I see what a lot of them go through, and being a streamer, being in the public eye like that, especially like not even quasi freaking celebrity status, like no celebrity status, and then having to deal with having celebrity status sucks. Um, yeah, and that's really where it boils down to. As always, if you could put cool beans in the comments below, that would make my day. Um, and you can write whatever you want. It's free country. Um, but I thank you, thank you, for watching this video, especially all the way to this point. And you deserve an extra thank you, for doing that. I hope whatever you do after this, if it's watch another video, that would be great. I hope you enjoyed that video as well. But yeah, I hope wherever you are, whatever you do, you have a fantastic time doing it. I really do. All right, take care.